Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Malcolm, and you're on MBD Bushcraft and Survival. And right now, I want to talk to you about guns. Specifically, I want to talk about Palmetto State Armory. I've been talking about them a lot because they've been on my mind a lot. Because I went out and bought 3 frames. They had a deal where you can get 3 PSA Dagger frames for like $159. And so the frame, the frame is just the handle with the trigger, but it's missing a slide. But I got 3 frames. I got the compact, the full size frame, and then the micro frame. And when you hold each one of them, what you notice pretty quickly is that they have great ergonomics and they feel really good in the hand. You get a really good grip. I have pretty big hands, but all 3 of those grips feel really good. And I ended up getting a mag well for each one of them. I didn't get the PSA mag well. I ended up going on eBay and just getting, it's a lot of people online printing mag wells, and I think they're using 3D printers. I'm like, damn, I wish I could do that. That'd be kind of cool. Get you a 3D printer. I don't know how long it takes to make them, but they fit pretty good, man. They fit on there. They look good. They kind of lock your hand in at the bottom, those mag wells, because it helps you to get a better purchase on the gun, on the handle or whatever. But anyway, I want to talk about the psychology that goes behind what I think is a really good thing that they got going on at PSA. So the psychology is, you look on there and you see that deal, right, for $159, and you're like, damn, that's a great deal. I can get 3 frames. Yeah, get 3 frames. That's actually 3 guns. You just bought 3 guns because you got to go to your FFL. They're not going to ship these frames directly to your house, even though you can't shoot them yet because you need a slide on there. They're not going to ship them directly to your house because each one of these frames has a serial number associated with it. They're 3 different guns. So you got to go to your FFL, pay the fee for each one of them. No big deal. And now you got your 3 frames, right? Now is when it starts getting interesting. This is when the psychology really starts to kick in. Because PSA Dagger is let's say a Glock clone. Because when Gen 3 Glock, when the patent ran out a few years ago, PSA jumped right on it and started offering the PSA Dagger, which is a spinoff of the Glock Gen 3. So it's very reliable. It's a very proven platform, and it looks really good. And so now what you essentially did by buying those 3 frames, you bought the Glock 19 handle, which is the compact frame. You bought the Glock 45 handle, which is the full size frame. And then you bought the Glock 43X handle, which is the micro frame. So you've just bought 3 guns. The Glock 19, the Glock 45, and the Glock 43X. Now, just stay with me on this one. So now you got to go buy some slides, because remember, you can't shoot the gun without the slides. And PSA knows that. And that's where I'm talking about with the psychology. PSA knows that when you get these frames, you're going to buy the slides, because the slides is the only way you can get a complete gun. And on top of that, you got to buy magazines. They don't give you magazines. You got to go out and buy magazines separately. They're not very expensive, but you still got to go out and buy them. Having said all that, you still end up saving more money than you would if you tried to buy the whole pistol. And that is why I love PSA. Right now I have I think it's the SW3 slide. Yeah, it's the SW3 slide with a black stainless steel barrel. It's got those 3 big windows in the side of it to cut down on the mass of the slide. So hopefully it'll take away a little bit of recoil when you're shooting it. Won't be as snappy or whatever. But once I got that slide, essentially I could put it on my compact frame, Glock 19. I could take off that slide and put it on my full size frame, go to the range, Glock 45. I can't fit it on the micro frame because the micro frames are just different. They don't fit on the compact or the full size frames. The micro, you got to get that separate. But I could just switch between frames. Of course, you know I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go get another slide. I think I'm going to get the SW5. It's got these slanted cuts going across the top, and then the serrations on the back of the slide are like micro dots, like these dots instead of the slashes. So it looks kind of cool. And then I'm gonna end up getting the chameleon barrel. I'm gonna get the chameleon barrel, and I'm gonna put that on my compact frame. And so I've already named the guns. It's gonna be Bonnie and Clyde. Bonnie is gonna be the one with the chameleon barrel. That's gonna be for my wife. But of course I'm gonna still shoot it because it still looks cool. And then mine is the one with the black barrel, Clyde. So you see the psychology. You see how far of a rabbit hole I'm even going down telling you about this. I'm naming the guns and all this stuff. You can make them so customized that, you know, I'm getting a chameleon barrel, which in my mind, oh damn, I need to get some damn gas. I'll get it on the way to work. The chameleon barrel to me has kind of a feminine kind of tone to it. You know what I'm saying? It not quite, because it'll still go bang, but it's got a feminine kind of look to it, and I feel like that would go well for my wife, and that would encourage her to come to the range with me, because she'll be like, ooh, I like this. This is nice. You know what I'm saying? It's all psychology that I'm using, so we can go to the range together. And then you have the micro frame. I don't have a slide for that yet, but those slides are gonna run you. I feel like those slides are a little more expensive. I've noticed those slides are a little, I'm not sure why. And they also have slides that you can already buy with the, well, they all have RMR cut, most of them. Most of the slides that you buy for the PSA Dagger at this point, they all have some type of a cut where you can put an optic on there. Basically, it's all MOS versions. And when you compare it to Glock, man, it's just, it's hard to buy a Glock at this point, man. I never owned a Glock, but I'm sitting here thinking, why in the world would I go buy a Glock? By the time I put slide cuts and change the color of the barrel, and it's not as, I mean, it's not going to be as ergonomic. A Glock is like holding a little brick. It's just, it just becomes like, why am I doing that? I'm just going to stick with PSA. You know, I'm going to buy all the guns on their lineup. And I haven't even gotten into the ARs and the rifles and the you know, the revolvers, because they sell all types of guns, not just PSA, on their website. And I just love it. I really do, man. So I guess one day I'll go ahead and show y'all kind of what I've been working on. But right now I'm just kind of having a conversation, talking about it. And just talking about how from the outside looking in, you might look at it like, man, they're not going to make any money like that. They're selling everything for too cheap. But the modularity and the options that they provide you so that you can buy so many different things and piece it together yourself to truly make it customized and make it your own. I think people end up spending more money per customer with PSA. Think about it. If you go out and buy a Glock, okay, let's say you spend $1,000 on your Glock, right? Let's say you go out and you want to put a new trigger in there, and then you want to get some slide cuts, and you want to get a optic milled, and you know, you want to get it perfect and this and that. You spend $1,500 on that. Well, a PSA customer might still spend the same $1,500, maybe even more, but it's like better for them because they've bought more with the money. You know, they're able to enjoy far more guns than you. Yeah, you got that Gucci Glock, but I could go out and get the I could go out and get the PSA Saber Dagger. Go look it up. PSA Saber Dagger, it's already Gucci'd out, and it's only $650. So what do you want to do? It's up to you. But it seems like now we in a climate where it's like, man, ain't nobody spending all that money on guns unless you just got it like that. But I've already bumped my head a few times when it comes to buying guns and buying guns on credit cards and getting into debt and then having to sell the guns right back for you can't even get half of what they're worth, and you kicking yourself like, damn, I didn't really want to sell that gun, I should have kept it, and da-da-da-da-da. You know, once you get back on your feet, you're like, damn, I shouldn't have sold that. Too late now, that gun gone. But, you know, this is just the life we chose and just the life that comes with it as you move up in this society, I guess. And like I said, I'm still very new. I'm still quite new to this thing. I'm probably only about 4 or 5 years in, really. I started late. You know, in my house, when I was growing up, we couldn't even have water guns. My parents were totally against it. Well, my mom was. Very against it. But my dad, he spent a few years in the Air Force, so I think he was more neutral to it. But since my mom was so adamant about it, he was just like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna push it. But so what's your story, man? What y'all feel about PSA, Palmetto State Armory? I like them. When I go on their website, I'm like, this is nice. This is nice. They got a PSA Jackal, which I want. There's a lot of nice stuff on there, bro. But I gotta build up my infrastructure to even own these guns. I need a real nice safe. Like a real nice safe. Because the safe I got right now is just real basic. Just to keep the kids out. You know what I'm saying? But I want something nice. I want a vault. Like a damn vault. Like one of them prepper shows. Where you walk into a room and the whole room is just, wow, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to start off slow. Anyway, this is Malcolm and MBD Bushcraft and Survival. Check out my channel, subscribe, and I'm going to holler at you next time, man. Peace.